me see. This is great content. Yeah, it seems to be better.
Okay.
It was giving me like a ton of like feedback in my left head, in my left can.
That's weird, man. I mean, you also like you have the buds. I don't know, fucking.
I think it's just the Dollar General. Or no, I got them on Amazon. The Chinese headphone jack.
They're regardless, like fucking.
These were like $7 on Amazon or something.
These are like the low end skull candies, and if I didn't fucking steal them, these would honestly have been like I've overpaid for them. But they were like $30. They're fucking $30.
I don't got that kind of money. You just walked out of Guitar Center.
No, I left the student center. The student center was shoplifting from my college. But
oh wow, they're that old.
yeah, fucking, they were like $35. But like it was like one of those rare items that they didn't have one of the security tags on. But they were like the premium items or whatever. So like I was able to fucking just like walk out with like
You're totally due for an upgrade.
Nah, I like them. They still work.
Yeah.
If they ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm the same way with stuff like that. Like. I'll rock an iPhone fucking 9 until the wheels fall off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need the newest shit. Like, I just got a new phone. It was a giant pain in the ass, and it gave me, like, a fucking stroke trying to transfer everything over because, like, you got to log into everything again. It's real first world problems. And then, like, none of my messages would switch over no matter, like, what I did. And I kept, like, doing everything that, like, YouTube and Google would say, and it wasn't working. And I just, like, ended up punching my steering wheel a bunch and denting my steering wheel.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, could you elaborate on that? Because that was actually a pretty funny thing because my experience was similar to yours.
It was just pure retardation on my end. I have a fucking temper that gets away from me sometimes. It's just little things irk me. And, like, for some reason, my shit not transferring over just sent me over the fucking edge, and I just started punching my steering wheel, and I noticed it looked kind of fucking bent, and I was like, oh Jesus Christ. So now I'm like mad at the phone and mad at myself for fucking bending my fucking, it wasn't like bent, but it just looked a little off to the naked eye. And then when I turned it,
you
the
said
plastic
it was like
rubbing, right? And I was like, oh fuck, dude,
here's the resale value on
and I got
this thing.
so mad I started punching it back the other way, and it actually worked. I just kept hitting it, and like it would rub less, and I'm looking at it, and then I'm kind of just like tugging on it and shit, and like it's fine now, so
there
we're good.
Go.
Yeah, that's not no big deal. I was thinking about it, I'm like, I've crashed my dirt bike a bunch of times. You just get up and keep riding it, like it's no harm, no foul.
Yeah, you would like
just the steering wheel breaks off my hand doing 80 down the road. Well, can you imagine?
Okay, so you can't really see it from, especially like the way you park, you're not gonna be able to see it, but like there's like a huge divot missing from like a tree. Like the tree must be like about like yay big around, but like I have my tow hitch on my trailer, and the backup camera on my truck only accounts for like so much of that tow hitch, and there's like, well, you've seen it, there's like little lines that show you the parameters of it, but like sometimes the tow hitch is just like like because it's longer than the camera, and like the camera's like a fisheye lens, you just think you have like an extra inch or two. And like the other day I fucking took like a good like 4 inches of divot out of the fucking tree because I just back clean into it. I was like, well, that I guess was closer than I thought. I was like half asleep taking the dog.
I've never had a car with a backup camera.
Yeah,
I'm a fucking peasant.
No, I mean it's the first one I've ever had too, but it's like I like noticed
the year I have of my current car should have this thing, and
but
I didn't realize the Corolla L is the complete base model. I have like
L is an L for your life.
Yeah, I have like a fucking tape
Taking
deck.
an L.
I don't have cruise control.
Wait, you have a tape deck?
Nah, I have a CD player.
That's not bad. Do you have a CD? Do you have any CDs?
I think
for it?
I have a CD player. I don't think I've used it. But yeah, no, I should have. I did like no research on my car. I just bought it sight unseen on like a whim at 2 a.m. I think I talked about that on here.
Wait,
Carvana got me.
So
my current car at the time was fucking up, and it turned off. It just shut off while doing 60, going home at like 2 a.m.
That'll happen.
2 a.m. I got home, went on Carvana. I was like, you can like customize your payment and how much you put down. I was like, I can swing this, and I just fucking bought a car at 2 a.m. and it showed up in my house 3 days later.
Hell yeah,
pretty fucking cool. Pretty seamless. I would buy from them again. My car has a rattle that several mechanics haven't been able to figure out, so it's just like I don't blame Carvana for that. So
I was gonna say there's actually been like several 100 people, and there's a class action lawsuit getting filed against Carvana.
Really?
Yeah.
Car runs fucking mint. So I just was like, I was really upset about the rattle at first, but I don't even fucking care
I
anymore.
was gonna say you could probably double down and still make out like a bandit because you
I'd
just
probably get more than I paid for it in the current market.
Yeah, like, and on top of that, you could probably sell it back to them and then get something newer for like about the same price, or like just honestly you're making a like
If I
lateral
wanted
move.
to, but like the car only has 108,000 on it. And it's a fucking Toyota Corolla, so it'll probably get like 250 easily.
Another 150.
Yeah, like clean, and then
easy.
another 50 after putting tons of work into it.
Absolutely.
So I'm just, part of me, I do get caught up in like I want a nice car. Like I have friends that have like Audis and fucking like Tina's got the Beamer and shit, and I'm
Fucking
just like I'm rolling around in the fucking Corolla, and like it's easy to get caught up in that shit sometimes. Where it's like I want to fucking be big pimping and ride around in Mercedes, like
you want to get like the Chrysler 300 like Chef?
No. He's got a fucking Dodge Charger.
Dodge Charger.
This shit's sick. No, I meant like an Audi, like a German, like an Audi or a BMW or a Mercedes.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
tried to get myself into German too.
I was gonna go wah, but then I'm just like, my car runs fine and it's like it's paid off. So like, why am I gonna?
Yeah,
saddle my I need to buy a house. I don't need to buy a $40,000 car. I'm not good at wrenching though at all. Like it's just something I've never enjoyed or like taken to or been good at. Like it's one of those things like putting together a fucking dresser or something. Like it just makes me so angry for no reason.
Really?
Kind of like the phone. Like certain things just make me tweak. Like losing things. Like if I can't find. It's not like the cliche keys or wallet. It's just like, where's the chapstick I bought yesterday or something?
Okay.
And I'm like pulling shit out of the couch. I'm like, I just had. Like if it's something that I just like saw or just had, like little things like that will make me go fucking nuts. But
okay, so here's one, and this isn't directed at you. Like it's something that you do, but it's like I'm at this point, like I don't care. Like I'm used to it with you with the time thing. Like when other people are like. And it comes from like me being like a kitchen person because it's like like time is fucking money in my fucking profession. Like if you say you got like I need you here at 4:15, you're here at 4:20. You're fucking fired. Like that's as far as I'm concerned.
From the podcast.
Yeah, no, you're not you. Like my fucking job. No, if I fired you,
I said 11. I got here at 11:25.
If I fired you, I'd just go kill myself because I wouldn't have anybody that.
Imagine me trying to start my own podcast. How much I flounder when you go pee.
Your OP podcast is you. Did you see him reviewing beer?
The beer show. Ant talked about it.
It was so fucking bad. They're both getting kind of.
For some reason, I actually find myself watching and searching Opie's YouTube channel.
He does have an interesting.
I don't hate Opie. I don't know. Like he kind of like.
He's tragically fascinating. Like
he was not the villain, but he was like the villain for so long that now you're kind of like rooting for him or in some weird way. I'm like, you know what? Everyone hates Opie. I kind of like Opie.
He's like
you know
a shitty underdog story, like a really shitty underdog story. But I kind of
shitty, just like.
Well, just I think he's
I love Ant and Jim, and like I like all of them. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I do, and I like when they beef and talk shit on each other. That's fun too. Like, it's
good drama.
I used to kind of like shit on Opie and be like, oh, this guy's fucking retarded. But like, I don't know. He's actually mildly entertaining in his dumb little live chats that he does and stuff. Like,
have you ever been?
I kind of like enjoy it.
Have you ever been in one when he's live?
I said like shout out from Atlantic City the one time, and he was. I don't even think he commented on it. There wasn't that many people in there, but I think he was only reading like the super chats or whatever.
He normally does like 40 people watch, and I think it's like 2 or 3 super chats, and it's like there's also some
like, I made $20.
There's like some guy that moderates the whole fucking thing, but it's like not particularly well, but it's just basically to keep everything like moving towards him. So it gets kind of like frustrating, and like, you know, obviously it's Opie, so it's like very, you know, him. It's the him show.
He's like a quirky dude. Like he's got a very unique style, and like I feel like now that he's doing like a solo thing, that more so gets to shine through in a weird way. Like, because
I can see that.
You kind of get overshadowed by the big personalities of Norton and Cumia on that show, where like it's just him now.
Would you agree that he's like obviously like he's very like flagrantly the weakest personality in the room when it comes to the three of them? Like even though he's like the co-host of the show.
That's not even an insult because they're so like
they're like major.
And
like,
he played his role to a T too. Like he did steer the ship and shit. Like,
because now that you said like he has,
I appreciate his role in that show,
No,
and
no.
I think towards the end there was so much hatred because they weren't getting along. So like he's sitting on his phone and they're just fucking off. But like I think when it was at its peak and they were getting along, it's like I think I don't know. I think they shit on him too hard. Where it's like during the prime, he probably was like good in the room and like funny and like the older O&A shit. Like I don't know.
well, when
He hit that dark period where he was kind of a cunt, but like I don't know.
well, you were like you were saying that like he had like his heel period. Like he had like his
like
part where there was a
hated
heel.
him. They're like, fuck Opie. And
do you remember when him?
I think even when he had his own show on Sirius, he was coming out of that. Like you could tell he was in better spirits. So I just think he was probably unhappy with the current show. Like he probably wasn't happy doing O&A.
No, he wasn't. He
definitely wasn't happy doing O&J. And I actually enjoyed the Opie radio show or whatever the fuck it was called with Sherrod and Carl Ruiz and Vic Henley. That was good shit.
I mean the people
and it would
that
come
just
on
die.
after it would come on after Jim and Sam, and like I think that show was giving Jim and Sam a run for its money in a weird way. Like I don't know, Jim and Sam fucking stinks, but I think if Opie still had a show, it would still be like rolling.
No, I disagree completely because it was. No, honestly, I was just letting you ramble
now
because
that
I want to watch
everyone's
baseball. Well, yeah, everybody
This is
is.
normally like me on my phone, except Joe's fucking.
No, I'm watching baseball and letting you ramble because I have nothing to say. I just want to watch this.
I'm just sucking Opie's dick. Maybe he'll come on our podcast.
No, he's like honestly, like he's not bad. You're right, and I do end up watching. I had to delete Facebook because everything's coming through in Chinese lately. Like, yeah, I had to straight up shit delete my fucking Facebook because
This is a good clip right there for the reels.
it's just sad.
We were talking about Opie radio. I had to delete my Facebook. Everything was coming Chinese. What the fuck happened? Sound like my grandpa or something. I don't know what happened. I clicked the button. Whole phone's a fucking chink now.
That's serious. Like everything is coming.
The slants took over my phone. I've been hacked.
We drop a bomb on your phone.
Did you order Chinese food recently?
No. So I got
sushi tonight.
I got my new phone, and ever since I got
a new phone too, dude.
yeah, so I got with twinsies. I got my new phone, and ever since I got my new phone, you know how you like delete your contact, you just break your old phone basically.
Yeah, I have to do that. I have to go through some things on the phone, and then I'm gonna fucking reset it and ship it back.
So like, well, I did that. There was like a whole bunch of shit that popped up on my new phone about like how it's like, oh, like something Santa Monica, California, and then there's like all this shit in Facebook started coming up like that. My credit card wasn't syncing with Facebook, and I'm like, I'm not trying to do anything. So I was just like, fuck this. So like I was like, all right, I deleted Facebook, but then now every time I get messages from you or anybody on Facebook Messenger, everything comes up in China. Like, send me a message right now. It'll
crazy.
It'll come through with China.
You have to fucking go in the settings somehow.
Not fun. I just deleted it. I'm gonna fucking pretend like it doesn't exist. Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna get hacked.
Send me a message. You'll see it'll pop up.
They got me this week too, where they I had to change my Apple password because it was like there was a login in Jbing Beijing China, and I was like, what? And like, you should change your password immediately. Early 2000s, dude.
Clint Eastwood.
World War II had like its stride. Kind of how like mob stuff was in at one point. Like World War II shit was hitting. Well, Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, like it was just.
Saving Private Ryan was what, 98, 97, something like that.
I don't know exact timeline, but just that general.
And then Clint Eastwood came out with that, I think, like 2007. So like I would say, yeah, like between those two, that was cool because you got to see the full spectrum of like I guess like the European theater with Steven Spielberg.
I like how they call it a theater. Yeah. Side note, the theater.
Well, no, I think it was just because it was like a theater of warfare, meaning like like a distinct.
No,
area.
I know it's a legit phrase, but I think it's like kind of goofy. Like,
yeah, it is.
I just picture like the British theater.
Yeah, just like when they're one of the things is like
commencing battle on the northwestern front.
Spectre with RE, like the James Bond 007 Spectre.
Yeah.
RE. I don't know. That shit's weird.
I like it.
Someone was saying telly, referring to British television.
The telly?
Telly.
That's pretty
I've been
gay.
watching this fucking British guy dig a hole in his backyard lately. It's just, It's been hitting.
The internet's fun for some of those like weird rabbit holes.
It's not even like
I keep doing this thing where I like.
You eat your mustache?
Yeah, it's like I know I'm gonna watch the next episode and see myself.
See yourself chewing on your mustache. Yeah.
I'm not chewing it. I just like it's on my lips. I constantly am like, I don't know, rubbing my bottom lip on it or something. I'm not chewing it.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I haven't shaved it in like 2 months at this point.
Wait till you get your soul patch going, and then that gets stuck in the back of your teeth when you're eating, because this
gets caught now because it's so long that
does it get caught in your teeth and you just like
I just
smile
get bites of it.
like
I get bites of it sometimes. I'm like, but I haven't trimmed it. I don't know why. I used to trim it like once a week and keep it like it's so much nicer when it's off your lip.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, but I'm just like I want to see what happens. And nothing happens. It just looks like pubes on my lip.
See, something weird is that
my mustache has the illusion of being thick.
Look at how fucking crazy my eyebrows are. Because, like, I haven't trimmed those in years.
I never trim my eyebrows.
I've never trimmed them either.
I shave the monobrow like maybe once or twice a month when I'm shaving.
The middle part of your fucking
it's
nose.
It's not like long, but you just see some hairs sometimes in the middle, and you're like, oh.
You ever see that on a chick? You ever see a mustache?
You
ever see mustache and sideburns on a chick?
Yeah. It's like half the chicks I've ever dated.
It's always like
I don't even care.
I do.
I did when I was like 16 and I was a pussy, but now I'm just like I don't give a fuck. Let me chew on that mustache.
I take it for the team, but I'm like,
it doesn't bother me.
It bothers me that I fucking have dealt with that before. I gotta hold myself.
As long as it's not like aggressive, like there's.
Oh yeah, it's been aggressive.
No, not. Like I'm saying, like, what's the word? Not hermaphrodite, but like you're not.
You're looking for a lady with fucking the same genitals?
No. Like, there's chicks who have like it's a hormonal thing. They have like legit facial like facial hair. But
yeah.
A chick who has like the little mustache. I'm just like.
No, I mean everybody does to a certain extent, but it's
they're
like
Italian or they're Puerto Rican or something. They're gonna have some fucking mustache, little lower back hair. How we don't? I don't give a fuck.
I was gonna say Latina chick. All right, so I won't say who, but there was a female in the group that got a little bent out of shape because I said something about South. What was it? The Pacific Islanders have smelly pussies, and it's like that's like something from experience. And like I'm not even gonna try and explain myself. Like it's just
I've only slept with white chicks, so I don't know about any Asian chicks.
Yeah, Asians,
I have a very limited.
Asians have smellier pussies. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying that it is a bad smell either. I'm saying that it is noticeable and it is distinct, just the way way it looks.
Like soy sauce?
No, just noticeable and distinct. It's stronger. It smells different. But like, yeah,
Chinese people smell different in general.
Everybody smells different. Like Italians, like I smell different when I sweat than like my fucking ex.
You smell like a hoagie.
Yeah, dude. Right? Like
Jan smells like the inside of a Best Buy or something, dude. Chinese people smell good, dude. They're clean. They're clean people.
He smells like the inside of a fucking Best Buy. Like iPhones.
He smells like a new MacBook or something, dude. He smells good, dude.
So that's where a new car
Next time you see Jan, go up to him and go to his shoulder or his nape of his neck and go.
I don't think
that was Jan's favorite bit in high school, dude.
He would come smelling
up, Jan? He would come up and he would just like stick his nose on like your shoulder, like right by your ear. And, like he wouldn't touch you, but he'd be right there and he would just go like right by your ear and you'd be like, what the fuck? And he'd be like, you smell like feet, or you say something fucked up. Like,
yeah, you smell fun.
It's not fun.
I don't know. Limo. Yeah.
I had May Fun for dinner tonight.
What's May Fun?
I don't know. I didn't really feel like having sushi. I got like one sushi roll, and then it's like some rice noodle chicken fucking thing. It was like.
Was it May Fun?
That was what I was going into. I fucking cracked everyone up with my little bit, and they're like, "Was May fun?" And I was like, "It was like May mediocre time. Like May leave early and go home and watch Netflix. Like
May go
May kill myself.
May hit McDonald's on the way.
Yeah.
May hit Wawa.
I got this fucking. I didn't realize the sushi roll was only 6 bites.
6 pieces?
Yeah. And I only got one, and I was like...
Like the McNuggets.
They are. It's nothing. I was like, what? It's only 6 pieces for $7? Like,
yeah.
These bitches $1?
It's $7 ain't bad. I mean, some of them were like 13 for 6 pieces.
I thought it was 12. Like, Tina always puts the order together, and I just like go pick it up. So like and we just get a bunch of different rolls.
Okay.
And I thought a roll was like the full container, like 12, not fucking.
It's like 6 to 8.
That's some bullshit, dude. I was like, man. And May Fun was like, at best, but I did try eel sauce, and that shit was pretty good.
I'll give you some eel sauce. Get over here. Yeah, I have no idea why our dynamic has been like fucking.
You try to get rolling on a subject, and I'm like, hey, dude.
Let's
small
fucking
side note.
yeah. Let's like fucking go on
Completely
an adventure.
derailed. We've never finished a thought the last.
No,
but that's how my brain works.
Well, like, I mean, it does work. It gets us through the fucking episode. It gets us 2 hours of content, which we could fucking
Tina
somehow.
like ripped me tonight. She was like, "You have the attention span of a fly," and like I actually like hurt my feelings because
why?
Because I do, because it was accurate.
Tell her to go fuck herself.
No, it was. She was like busting my balls, but I got all like, "Oh fuck you," then, like, you know what I mean? Like I became a sensitive Sally.
Yeah.
When usually she busts my balls and I laugh to try, and even when it hurts, I try to laugh so that way I have free range to bust balls back.
Yeah.
Like I called her a. And I was like, that's like a saying, like my big fat Greek wedding, you know? It's like
That's
I didn't mean.
Saying.
I really tried to save it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the desperation of a fucking sink of
She
ship,
was
though.
calling me like a homo or something, and I was just like,
That's fair.
she calls me jumbo and fatso. Like it's not like it sounds harsh, but like I was just fucking around. But then she did the thing, like got sensitive Sally on me. But I did later. I was like, I know I do. Actually, I'm getting all these suggested, like, you know how the algorithm suggests your reels or whatever, like the reels come up, and they're always ADHD related now.
No,
and
I thought they were always. You're saying constantly.
Facebook gives me ADHD videos, and I'm like, damn, maybe I do have ADHD. You know what I mean?
Maybe I am.
You're like diagnosing through like.
Yeah, don't do that.
But I'm curious. Like, I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, Instagram's my reels are always. Don't know why. Some of them are funny, dude. The guy making the breakfast burrito today, he was like making these funny noises and shit. I send you them all. Anytime it comes up my shit, I send it to Joe right away. I don't know why.
The one that is the guy that got out of his car at the fucking family party, and it's like when your favorite cousin shows up. That one was like, I fucking watched that like 6 times.
He was like, hey, fucking, Terry.
Dude, they were fucking having a blast.
He was like,
yeah, he's having the fucking time of his life.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's true. I saw that.
If I wanted to do this to worry about what the fuck I said, I might as well just shoot myself. I think about this, I'm like, oh, we're talking about local dicey things. What are you gonna do? Fight me in fucking Dollar General because I said you got raped by a fucking cop? Fuck you. I'm gonna talk about what the fuck I want to talk about. I don't give a fuck.
Here on the BLACKTOOth Podcast,
I don't even worry about it anymore. I'm like, oh, what did I say? Like, yeah, fuck it. I jerked off in a storage unit. Like, what? Like, I don't care. Like, I'm gay. Like, you know, there's nothing. You know,
I'm gay.
And you do chop out a lot of the shit, but like. You ever get that way, like, after an episode, you're like, after it's uploaded, you're like, oh, what did I say? I guess you don't because you re-listen to it and you have final say, but, like...
No, I still fucking fret all the time.
Yeah, constantly, it's like, what did we say? Like,
there was one
where... it's just like, who fucking cares? Like,
there was one where it was, like, a couple episodes ago...
Did we talk to any of those people?
Yes,
like,
yes, constantly. There was one a couple episodes ago where I was, like, railing, like, the people that I work with, and I know that they're never going to listen to that episode. It's buried far enough now, but, like, there's an episode where I mean, sure, if they find it, go ahead, fucking like. But you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it comes off as very insensitive.
I was shocked you posted it too. I was like, holy shit.
Well, it's very insensitive to them, but it was like it's a genuine like response. Like this is like I mean, we joke about this being like cheaper than therapy, but like in reality, it's like us. We don't have like a subject when we come in here. We just kind of like fucking.
We used to try and have bullet points, but like it never worked out.
No, we just fucking
kind of pointless. I think that.
Did I tell you? At the bowling alley. Did I tell you I threw up at bowling this week? I got the hiccups.
Drove home.
No, I got the hiccups. I didn't get drunk.
I wasn't hammered.
I had the hiccups and was driving. I was drinking beer and got the hiccups with. Oh, that's still it.
Yeah.
I had the hiccups while I was drinking beer. And you know, like when you can't get beer down and it makes like that kind of like foamy like. Seal in your esophagus, dude. So I got heartburn like a motherfucker, and then someone was like, "Here, we're gonna do shots," and I'm like, "I don't want to do shots," and they're like, "It's your birthday, you should do shots." So I took like half the shot. It was like, it's sitting right, and then like they're like, "Finish your shot." I was like, "Okay." And I'm like, I'm gonna go to pee real quick, and then just like went and yacked and felt better.
At least you yacked in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Someone, we've talked about this on here before, threw up on me at the bar. He wasn't even supposed to be drinking shots with us. Like, he just kind of like jumped in. Like, it was, I think, Sheps. We were celebrating him getting engaged or something.
Okay.
And yeah, someone bought like 10 shots, and this kid just like walked over and just like grabbed one, and then right after he took it, he threw up all over me.
He just like took the
I
shot.
smelled like shit the rest of the night.
He just took the shot. It was like
Instantaneously. Half the people in the group were like still taking their shot, and it was just like projectile vomit on me. But I was friendly with the dude.
That's good. You didn't have to beat somebody's ass.
Yeah, no, everyone was like, I would have beat the shit out of him. Like, I was like buddies with him in school and stuff. Like, shit happens, whatever. Like,
my cousin laughed at me like really hard one time. I had a job interview in the morning, so it was like double funny. But I was running we got an Uber from the bar, and I got out of the Uber, and he's like, go unlock the door, Joe. And I was like, okay. And like Mike's like settling up with the Uber driver, and I run to the door and tripped over a rock and fell and like split my fucking chin open on the fucking concrete. And then I had to like,
that's the fucking
my
worst,
face was
dude.
like all scraped, and my fucking chin's like all fucking busted open. I had to go to a job interview in the morning, and I looked like I got like,
see the other guy.
I was like, yeah, it looked like I got dragged behind the fucking Uber on the way home. I got really drunk with him, and like we pre-gamed. It was during the World Series. It was like, you know, early October or something like that. So like we were watching like postseason baseball at his grandparents' house, like up in his room. And he's like, we could drive over to Charlie's or whatever and like have like a beer, or we could like, if you want to turn up, like we could get an Uber.
That's exactly what he would say.
Yeah,
too.
he's like, if you want to turn up, we can go to like.
It's such a fucking our youth phrase, like fucking 2012 phrase.
Like,
if you want to get lit,
you want to
turn
throw
up,
down,
dude.
like you want to throw down. Like I'm telling you, man, like we can go to.
You want to get wasted, dude.
Yeah, dude, you want to get wasted.
Honestly, I've been so nostalgic for that era.
What,
like
2000s?
Like right after high school or whatever the fuck, like
yeah, because it's like you were young and you had no responsibility,
or even like high school,
and now you're
high
an
school
adult.
age, like
yeah,
like I'm saying like late like 2010s, like early 2010s, late 2000s, like you know what I'm saying, like
yeah,
like 2009 to like 2014, like
yeah,
first couple years of college and shit, like
yeah,
you still have hope for your life. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
slightly.
I don't believe it. I know that it's manufactured. I don't believe in that. Fucking not like it's not, but like
you didn't have more hope when you were 17 than you do at 32.
No, absolutely not. And I can tell you,
I thought there was more possibilities.
Absolutely not. I was as nihilistic back then as I was, because I was demoralized from the time I was like 14 years old working in kitchens. Because like what I realized when I was a kid was I had the blessing of understanding that it's like, okay, the more education you get, the less labor you have to do. But that's only if the education you get is pertaining to like something that will get you further in life. So like example, you went to public school, graduated from public school, and tried to go to like, you know, local college, but it never really struck your entrepreneurial minded likeness as like something that was prudent to you, like becoming better at, you know, being a business manager, like leading to that. So like
my goal was to be like a small business owner, and I'm like, what is this degree gonna do?
Precisely. Like, so you're not like you felt like it was going nowhere. Much like I went and finished through college, and I used nothing of my degree except
this
sort of, but like I could have done. I
pays.
figured this out in high school though. Like I was in film class in high school for 3 years, so like I could have just fucking stuck to that. I got a slightly better education. I'm slightly more apt and have a better vocabulary for what I like describing and, you know, doing and acting and shit like that. But it's really like, I ultimately do think that fucking that shit's a waste of time. Where was I going with this? I
forget what I was talking about before.
I forget. The nostalgia. So it's all artifact.
Before that, though.
No. Like on that though, because like I actually think that's a real interesting tangent. That the nostalgia thing is manufactured right now. It's like very much like the reason.
Well, I know
that
you see the pass through rose-colored glasses.
No. Because like remember how there was like that push where like everybody was like, I really like the 90s was the shit, like because it was like we're little kids, we have no responsibility, and it's almost like people were like there was no better time than being like a kid in the 90s. it was cool, but I'm not gonna sit here and say
I miss that era too.
Well, yeah, I miss being a little kid, but it was because like there was no responsibility and things were things hadn't become the fucking gross monster that they have now. There was still not optimism per se, but you weren't jaded.
There was less like it was a different, like, cell phones, and like it was just a different era. Like there wasn't this constant bombardment of like, you know, like you're like constantly connected to everyone now, or like back then it was like there was more, not freedom, it was just a different like feeling, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you were
like out in the world. Like now you're just like tethered to like you could just go, you know, when you're a kid, you just go like walk in the woods. Like there's no way anyone's contact. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just a different era. Like now we have like supercomputers in our pockets, but like back, like it's the cliche thing, but like dial-up internet, like it was just a different feeling,
sensation, like I guess of like
a different time period. And I noticed it when I watched The Sopranos, and like it's like the late '90s, early 2000s. Those ones, like the cars, the landline phones, like just that era of technology, like that's where we should have just peaked. Like,
yeah,
right
well,
there.
right. Like,
I think Bert has a bit about that.
Analog technology actually is like I agree.
We should have stopped in like 1999.
I agree with that. I wholeheartedly.
It's like
agree
we're on
with
these
that.
fucking iPhones all day.
The second that they took fucking keyboards off of phones, like I'm a huge proponent. I actually like this is a new phone. The guy that I was talking to while I was getting my phone, he's ringing me up for my iPhone. I'm going, I wish RIM would come out with another fucking BlackBerry because I miss having fucking buttons on my phone. I hate that this phone doesn't have buttons. And he's like, dude, BlackBerry Pearl was the last phone I actually gave a shit about. I was like the last phone he was like, I really enjoyed that phone because it was a neat concept. It was like you said, a supercomputer in your pocket, but it wasn't geared towards like the app bullshit. You didn't like, because you remember like when apps were first, like it was like you could get like noisemakers for your phone, and like it was just bullshit. Literal bullshit. Like, yeah, so like that was what apps were like trying to.
A lot of apps still are bullshit on iOS.
Yeah, like
I fucking hate Apple.
It's just like advertisement.
It's such a glitchy. Like everyone's like, it doesn't have viruses. I'm like, everything malfunctions, and it's so clunky, and like you have to fucking.
Your Facebook turns up Chinese.
Fucking hate all this shit. I spend too much time on my phone. I get sucked into reels, dude. Bad. I spend too much time on like Facebook. I'll be switching from Facebook Reels to Instagram Reels. I don't even watch TikTok. It's just fucking Reels. And then even YouTube Shorts. And you're on there, you're watching fucking YouTube Shorts. And it really fucking like, it's just like, boom, boom. This one sucks. Boom. And you're just watching these like 15 to 30 second videos like all day. It's just, I hate this shit. I want to go back to a flip phone. I'm going to go Ari Shaffir mode.
Like I said, like, well, why do you think you have that nostalgia for like the 2000s? It's because like all the shit that you're watching, it's like you're not watching anything new. And I'm not saying that it's like you're not seeing original content on there, but you're not seeing anything that's like you're not reading something that's like an original idea. You're not like you're seeing a regurgitation for the most part, because it's like condensing information into like 60 seconds, a minute and a half, whatever the fuck it is. But why I think you have that nostalgia for like the 2000s was that it was like you still kind of had this like analog technology, I guess, but also there was like you had to kind of search shit out. Like you're a rap nerd, you still would have had to go on LimeWire at that point, and like it wasn't just.
No, it did.
Yeah, like and like you didn't just have Spotify.
uTorrent up until a few years ago.
You didn't just have Spotify where it suggested that like you had to research your shit and know what you were doing.
Found better stuff.
And also knew how to like get what you were looking for without getting fucking pornography or like something that's gonna break your computer on LimeWire. Like you knew exactly what you were looking for. Like you had to do you had to have a minuscule amount of understanding and research.
Find the one with the best rating and the most downloads, and like the comments on it. Some of them had like 2 comments. Like, this is legit.
All
boys.
The seeds are like clean, you know, like, and it's like if your seeding's not on, it won't.
You ever
like,
try and download shit on LimeWire and it just takes like days and it's just not going?
Yeah,
it's like you can't find the right link and they're just sitting there.
It's mostly like album compilations, like where like one album is like an entire like discography or like an album comp where like one album is corrupted and it's like the middle album, so the rest of the fucking albums don't download, but it downloads song by song, so you'll get like 4 songs on an album and then like 3 corrupted ones. So you'll just be playing and then all of a sudden it's like, bah! Like, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, there's an entire Streetlight album that's bricked on my iPod.
I don't think that's why I'm like nostalgic for that era, though. I think it's just like,
well, I just think that it was
being young and like,
the carefreeness, like not having responsibilities, obviously, like.
And I don't think I'm having these. It's not like I'm like, oh, I have a kid and a family now. I miss being young and carefree. Like, it's not that. It's just.
Well, what is it? What is it?
It might be subconsciously, but it's just I don't like.
What sensation exactly are you missing then? Like, what is it? Just like that you miss that?
Not
like
a sensation. It's just like the time period. Like
no. But like, what about that time period? Because like like obviously like nostalgia, like having a nostalgia is like a sensation. Like you're missing, you're longing for like the past or
not
like
I'm not even longing for it. It's just fondly remembering it. Yeah,
So,
like that was good times. Like
so,
just like hockey and fucking just. Different shit. My grandparents' Beasley's Point House and like
it just seemed like a little more like stable, right? Like shit. I don't know. Like, work this
just
out.
Like happier.
Interesting. Okay, happier.
Just like
that's
I don't know. You fucking dickhead.
Womp womp womp. Is that the right one? Where we're like geared, like our generation specifically, like our age, our demographic, it's like they want like people market us to kind of be like think forward, but also this time in the past was like the prime of your life. Like they make it seem like that was the best it ever could be, and that's unfair and also irrational because like we grow and we're like becoming what we are. Like we're not like on like by any means like on the come up or whatever. It's like
I love my life now.
We're like in the middle of it, and it's like we're in the middle of like hitting like we haven't just hit our stride, we're mid stride, and it's like that's something that like while you're in the middle of like self actualizing is like
these are
hard
gonna be the days in 10 years when we're like remember back then when we first started the podcast.
Yeah,
like,
and like
it's a natural human condition.
But like the thing like that you're saying though is like something that I'm seeing a lot more of like people our age where they're like, oh, so much better in like 2002, 2003, and I'm like,
I don't even think it was better. It was just like I just was thinking like I had a lot of fun back then. Like
yeah, like same, and it's like I look
high
back.
School was pretty fun. Like school part sucked, but like. Just hanging out with the fellas every day and like busting balls and fucking playing sports and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
there was like it was a different time in our lives. But it's like something about that specific thing where I think we're being like marketed to, or like something about like
it was some reel that triggered it where it showed all these pictures from that time period.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like man.
Okay,
like,
so the one that gets me, and it's like this one actually like I had to physically like do but I don't want to see this anymore on Facebook, and before I deleted it, but it was like the Hamilton Mall and then the Shore Mall, where it's like it's just a suggested page
the
of
Shore Mall thing, and it was like there was a bunch of pictures of the inside of it, and I was just like, man,
it
like,
made
I
me
used to love
fucking
going there.
cry. Like I was taking a dump and like weeping.
Yo, dude, the dump cries.
Yeah,
dude, it's rough.
well,
early morning, something hits you on social media, a weird reel of like a fucking dad coming home from war to his kids or something. And I'm just sitting there like,
his wife is getting fucked by the dog, licking her pussy.
But something dumb like that, like the Shore Mall pictures, like I'll be like thinking about playing fucking air hockey there with my dad when I was 10. Be like,
it was the
shit gets, for some reason it's early in the morning when I'm pooping, dude. Something hits me right in the algo, dude. I'm gonna shed a fucking couple tears on the toilet, dude.
Shed one big brown tear.
Something about like, oh, my grandpa died, like some reel like that, and I'm just like, just shitting and crying, dude. You're just draining out both ends, brother.
The fucking KB Toys light, that was what it was. It was the color of the cable. Dude. It was like this yellow, neon,
green, and red.
Yeah, and then like the outside was green.
I remember the layout of the store. It was only like 3 or 4 aisles wide. Yep. Had the little front section with like the knickknacks and stuff.
So one of the deals
always had these weird toys, like the ball with the spikes on it that would like jump around, and the little ferret toy.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm
there was
the front little display case.
The fish thing that was like the frogs that would wind up.
Case or whatever.
So I had a deal with my mom when I was in whatever grade. So I want a PlayStation 1.
I really want this shark.
I want it. No, that was already bought and paid for. I knew what I had. That I was working with. So I had this deal where I wanted to get a PlayStation 1. The only way that I was allowed to get a PlayStation 1 was I had to earn money through getting A's on my report card. Certain amount of
similar
A's.
arrangement. I got a a trampoline like that.
Yeah, so like you earn your way to it, and I had like one of those big. They used to sell popcorn in them, but it was like a big beer bottle that was like made of like so it was just a big Budweiser, and I had like dollar bills that like I would get an A, I get a dollar bill. It's like I had pocket change. I throw the pocket change in there. Pocket change. I wasn't allowed to put dollars in there unless I earned them for my report card. But if I had change, I was allowed to put change in there. So I was really earning on the change, and I got to like.
You're just going to the lunch lady, like, can I get 4 quarters, please?
I think I did that a couple times actually. I think I went to the
washing my money, ma.
I think I went to the arcade and got like $5 in quarters.
Jay's like, just pretty smart.
Played like 2 games, and then I was like, I think I'm ready to go.
I think I want to cash out.
Yeah, dude. Like, well, you're ahead.
It's like basic money laundering, dude. Go to the casino, play 2 hands. I'm gonna cash out this $9,800. Darn, I lost 2 hands.
Oh my god, dude! What a bad day. I'm gonna go home. Yeah, so
I'll take hundreds.
But yeah, that KB tour. I just remember I had this like exact sensation of walking under that fucking neon sign, my big beer bottle filled with like dollars and 5s and 20s and shit like that. And I went in there and dragged it, and the guy was like kind of happy for me too, because he was like, oh, "You're getting a PlayStation, dude." And I'm like, "I know, I'm so excited." And my mom was like, "He earned it too. He got A's," and he's like, "That's." I love
that you brought all the money in this
dude, in the fucking thing, dude. The guy was
you like
hyped.
Smash your piggy bank in the store.
The guy was so psyched that I brought that in too. He was like, because like I had to pay with change, and normally like when you pay for change for anything, like, people are like, "You fucking cunt!" Like,
well, when a 7-year-old does it, right?
I was like 10, and you saw like the pure joy.
I earned this,
and he's like, "Yeah," like so. And then
how stoked were you firing that bad boy up for the first time?
I got SSX Tricky.
Oh,
right.
Dude.
And I got.
How are you not nostalgic, dude?
NHL
manufacturer, not
NHL Blades of Steel '99, which had Jaromir Jagr playing for the Pens on it. So
was
like
that the one where it was like hits or whatever?
No, it wasn't hits. I did have hits eventually, but that was really, I had hits for the PlayStation 2. That was
I remember
the
Jagr cover one.
Yeah, Blades of Steel '99. That was a fucking.
My dad had that on his PS1.
Dude, so yeah, like I mean, like it's not that I wasn't like I'm not nostalgic for that. It was just that like you're right. It's I think that it's manufactured though, and that's what bothers me is that not that like we wouldn't arrive at this nostalgia on our own. It's just like when we're looking at those reels or whatever, it's like they want us to fucking like not look forward and be optimistic that we're doing so well right now. They want us to be like bummed that it's not the past, and there's something about that that's like fuck that. I don't want to fucking think that way. And I mean, it's 90%.
I respect that.
90% of Facebook being Chinese right now that I deleted it, but I actually did kind of like I was like sitting there today like fuck this. I don't want to just make myself sad.
It'd be like if you went to school, this was the best era, and it was like the gym class with the parachute and like the carts and
fucking
like
gator skin balls and shit like that. It's like, but no, I just don't want to like make myself sad. Like fuck that. I'm done with that.
It's not even sad. I don't find it sad.
I do, and it's like I could see
it's slightly sad, but it's also like fun. Like
no, it's funny. It's funny.
Like there's funny. I meant to say fond, but like that's not the right word. It's like. It's not sad. It's just like
Jesus Christ.
I can't think of the right word. It's just like I don't know.
Pleasant, like
it's like a bittersweet. Like okay. You know what I mean?
Well, like see, that's like I try to stay in like the algorithm. It's like mostly like dogs and like cute shit and like funny stuff and like comedy clips and stuff. But then like once in a while, like there's one because I like urban exploring. I like that is like a fun one where it's like. Here's a building where it's like they show like a bunch of happy children playing outside on like the kids' playpen at a McDonald's, and then it's like playpen's like just decimated, like completely like
they're so depressing.
And then like a news article like 6 children raped here. Like it's like like calm the fuck. Like why is this so brutal? Like I don't need this. There's like one that I was watching about the other thing too, man. I wish people would stop on the fucking reels. You can't condense the Ukraine war to TikTok. Stop fucking trying to do that. Quit trying to oversimplify it because it's fucking frustrating. And
people do long form.
They do, but it gets overshadowed by like the fucking real shit. And I'm like, stop! You're just lying to people. And it's like this is old information. You're telling people stuff that's like 6 months old. And like I'm seeing this shared, and it makes me like
I love stuff like that. Not even just the war, but where someone's trying to be like a TikTok expert, and then you go in the comments, and they're just like, "This guy's a fucking idiot." Like, it's just like not right at all.
Anything about Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, okay. Glad I didn't like put stock into this.
It was something that was bordering on like unsavory, and I'll leave it at that. But it was like in the comments, someone's like, "Yeah, this is all fucking wrong." And I'm like, "Good, like, thank you. Like, you're being truthful. Like, even though it would be funnier if this was like, you know, accurate, because it was like I don't even remember what it was. It was some ridiculous claim, and then someone
it's like easily disproven in the comments, and you're like, damn, I really wanted to believe there's like a off the wall conspiracy, a shred
of like truth to it, but then like it's so clarified.
The one that got me like that, where it was like they're faking that we're going to Mars, and it's like these pictures of them like doing this, running a Mars rover on this like desert land in like Greenland or something, and it like looks similar, and like everyone's like, well, they practice there because it's like a similar terrain to Mars. That's how they test all the vehicles before they send them up to space. So it's just like, and it's just like the video had me sold, and I'm like, oh, that kind of does make sense. Like there's pictures of them testing the shit there.
There's this one that was like very highly contested because of two reasons. The guy was doing a gravity test, and it shows the curvature of the Earth. So flat earthers and people that don't believe that space is real ganged up on this one video.
I could almost see being a flat earther. I don't see there's any gain to it, but why not believing space is real?
That's
you can see space.
That's one that drives me nuts too. But they're like, yeah, it's a projection from like behind where
we're in a snow globe.
Yeah, and there's like people that say that like the sun isn't like a light source. The sun is actually like closer than we perceive it, but it's like not outside of what that dome thing is. Like it's so anyway, there's these people that fucking think that like both the flat earth and that space isn't real. And there's this video of the guy's name is Scott something or other, but he's like that real popular astronaut dude. He went viral in like 2009 when viral was like he played
he was on Vine.
he like played his guitar for his like baby daughter or something like that from the space station, and then remember that. And he went viral. So he's like now like the correspondent for whenever the news needs someone from ISS to talk, he's the guy. So there's this video of them explaining how the live feed works and how CNN gets the feed where they can communicate to him, and they're walking through whatever the headquarters is. I don't know if it was Houston or if it's in Langley or whatever.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, they were walking through the NASA, like the control room, and in the background, the Scott guy is in there, and he's standing in front of this blue paneling that has like a grid matrix behind him. And it was explained in the comments that what that matrix is used for is when they're in orbit to determine how much gravitational pull ISS is, because it needs to be adjusted. When you're in low space orbit, I'm gonna try not to oversimplify this. You're basically in free fall, and you're trying to keep up with that free fall. So you're trying to stay in a constant state of free fall, and you need to adjust how far away from Earth you are while you're in that free fall to stay in free fall. They use it for testing, but that's one of the things, and they need it to be like a grid. So it's like, oh, gravity's getting a little too strong, we need to adjust. Amongst other things, he's in front of this talking, and people are like, that's a green screen, he's on the ground, there's no fucking way he's in space. And then there's like a portal window by him too, and it's like you could see the horizon of Earth, and it's flat, but it's like that fucking much.
Oh,
it's like, well, they slipped up, it's gotta be flat. Like, it's like, are you guys fucking retarded?
They're hiding in plain sight, man.
Yeah, it's like, so like,
what's 4chan say about flat Earth?
Well, there's a constant thread actually on inner Earth and a constant thread on flat Earth.
Inner Earth is fascinating.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about it, but very little. Like, there's conspiracies like celebrities all live like under the ocean, or like fucking I don't know.
Well, there's the theory that you can't
like the
dig.
Dead ones.
You can't dig past a certain. That was why I was watching
you
the guy.
Dig to China, dude. I really believed that when I was a kid.
You could. I mean, you can in theory. Like,
I don't think so.
Yeah, you can. You just need gotta strategically make some turns here and there. You can go straight through too, but you'll burn up in the molten. Oh, that was another theory too, that Earth doesn't have a molten core. That was a fun one that someone was saying that the sun
for the elites.
No, the sun's core isn't made of because it's like a nuclear fusion reactor. So there's like fusion and fission going on simultaneously in the sun, and that is like why it's both like fueling and expelling energy at the same time. And eventually this source will run out, but like
what happens then?
Just all the energy, all the energy goes off of it over a really gradual time, and then all that's left is this like charcoal briquette thing that is slowly succumbing to gravitational force inward on itself, inward on itself until the gravity becomes so tight that it blows outward into a supernova, and then that'll kill us. That'll break the solar system basically. But yeah, we got a couple.
So supernova, like the debris would fucking.
Supernova's like it's becoming so gravitational.
What would kill us though? The explosion or the losing of the light source?
The corona blowing out would basically just decimate all. Like that's gonna make.
The corona blown out. Talking about the virus.
Yeah, corona is like the hot part of the sun, so it blows out, and while it does that, it just like vaporizes everything on the surface. Like all it will be left of Earth would be a glass bowling ball. Like at that point,
shit.
Yeah, it's like that, but that's like a couple 100 million years from now. There actually was a solar flare that's heading towards us. Like it was like 8 days ago. I think we missed it.
I think it would be pretty cool if the sun went out.
Did you see that
explode? It was just like a light bulb that ran out, and it was just like it was dark all the time. Now, like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? We need to build a new sun.
Magnets.
I wonder how. Work? So like we just lose the light source. I wonder like the stages of the decay would happen. Like plants would stop growing, and then like
plants would stop growing. We get permafrost, which I remember that being the most catastrophic thing because
it would just be cold. It's not just the light aspect. Heat. So what if the heat stayed on, but it was just dark all the time? How would we adapt? Could we survive that without light?
Well, if we were still the same amount of temperature, but without the light source. Well, that's actually an interesting question because you got to think about it. That's what the atmosphere is like locking in is because of the light source. We have the greenhouse effect where some of the rays come through the atmosphere and bounce around, but some of them don't, and then some of them can bounce back out, and some of them can't. Some of them trapped in there.
Fucking ozone layer.
Yeah, so like you got that fucking thing going on, and but if there's not a direct light source, that actually like if we're just trapped and there's nothing bouncing around, it's like actually kind of like the ozone layer theoretically could dissipate. Like,
but what do we need it for? There's no light.
That's it. Well, that's just it. It's like what's binding it, like what's fueling it, because it's like kind of fueled by like radioactive and like magnetic electricity coming from outer space. It's also fueled by our magnet and like kind of gravity and there's a lot of factors to it, but it's like I kind of think it would like the outer layers would dissipate and we'd probably die pretty quickly. That would be my theory at least.
Die from what though?
I just fucking well, obviously starvation because nothing would grow. We'd run out of food pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm saying like what would those layers
of like the first wave would probably be like mass starvation.
No, I'm saying the layers of the atmosphere that could like implode or whatever. How would that hurt us? Like,
well, like if we made it that long.
I thought you were saying that was going to be first. Like you're like I feel like this would deteriorate or whatever. We'll die.
No, I think that'll ultimately like kill like everything on Earth. But it's like we'd probably die of starvation as like a species like pretty quick before we would experience that.
Things wouldn't grow. But what I'm retarded. I'm asking like, what does the atmosphere do?
The atmosphere protects us from the ultraviolet. There
would be no ultraviolet rays. Ultraviolet rays. Lights are turned off.
Exactly, but like if we're just okay, so let's say like it's like
we would get night vision, dude.
But what I'm saying is like let's say that we had a geothermal way of maintaining like a normal temperature on Earth.
I'm saying it's like an oven where the light you turn off the light, but the oven's still on.
That's what geothermal means. You fucking retard.
You gotta use these big fancy words.
It's smaller word than
I'm gonna be Jake Vaughn this week. Just gotta keep on keeping on, brother. Onward.
My neighbor had a wooden shirt growing up.
I had this neighbor Tommy. He crashed his car into an embankment. He died. He always talks about embankments and
shit. So what? Anyway, you're asking about what the ozone layer does. The ozone layer protects us from ultraviolet rays, but it keeps up It helps stabilize the temperature on Earth. But what I'm saying is, let's say that geothermal, we're like the oven, as you said. Keep the light off. Oven stays on. Let's say there's a geothermal internal way of us staying warm. I don't know if the atmosphere would still be like doing what it's doing because it's no longer like bound by certain things. Like it's also not bound by the gravity of the sun now. Like the sun's off. I don't. It's not
No, it
providing.
still has gravity. It's just the light.
Just the light.
Just the light.
Just the light's
Just
off.
the light.
Okay, then.
So it's dark, but everything's the same.
I still think the atmosphere would somehow be affected, and we probably would die because the plants wouldn't grow because they need sunlight. That's how photosynthesis works. We might be able to fuel like lights, but
People could grow indoors.
But I don't think that's enough to like sustain the population of Earth. I think a lot of people are gonna fucking die. The people that live though would probably.
But if this became suddenly the case, like what if everyone was just growing their own shit indoors?
Okay, so everybody.
You can totally grow vegetables with like lights and shit, right? It's not just weed you can grow inside. I feel like if you can grow a weed plant inside, you can grow like a fucking potato.
You absolutely can. They do that in
You're
Canada.
gonna burn a hole in your pants.
Whatever. Fuck it. Put my dick out on this shit.
I have so many holes burnt in my fucking.
You got so much ash on your sweatshirt.
Oh, always. Dude, I'm covered every time. I get out of my car to walk into the store, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
What are the
Covered
biggest
in shake and fucking ash?
One of the biggest arguments that we used to have at work is what would happen if the moon disappeared, and I would always say that nothing crazy except the tidal forces would be out of whack a little bit.
Yeah.
And like and my chef was like, no, animals would be like fucking freaking out, and like they're like people would be having like hormonal imbalances because of like the moon pulling.
I think we would adapt.
That's what I said too. It's like
I think we would adapt without the light too.
It's
It
an
would just be
interesting.
freaky. Like what I think I was gonna go the same way with starvation, but like we wouldn't. I guess like even like with meat, like we could live on just meat, but like the meat has to eat grass, and there would be no grass growing. So
Well,
then
that's
the
just
meat
it, but
would
we-
die out.
but-
It would just be this like cycle. Of
Well, but like
fucking-
that's just it. If we can like perpetuate like we could allocate a shitload of light sources to like growing beef or like growing chickens or whatever, or like you said, like find some kind of like way.
I think
of,
humanity would survive.
we would
It's pretty
survive. I
fucking-
just think a lot of people would fucking die. Like a lot of people would die off just pure. Like Australia, they're fucked. they ain't fucking living. Africa, they're fucked. Like they ain't.
Why they think.
Because they don't have the resources set up to begin with to like kind of sustain like a death. Like now, I think that they on a short term scale would be a lot better off because they're adapted to living in much more impoverished and harsh conditions than we are. But like when you don't have any recourse, where it's like, okay, well now food doesn't grow and we don't have any way. Like they're not like hopping in the car and going like to wherever where food might be. They're just gonna sit there and die. Like that's pretty much it. Like so I think like in the long term, like North America,
It's just
Europe,
crazy.
and Asia would probably sustain better. But like I'm sorry.
It's crazy that this is some real hippie shit, but like the amount of money and resources in the world, and that there's still like issues like that. Like if we just shared. Like if we just shared. Everyone, it sounds stupid, but like
You're right. No, it's.
Like
You
we would
gotta-
survive because we have the resources and the money, but like money's just a human concept, man.
Fucking
Like,
socialist.
no, but like I'm not a socialist. But in a situation like that, turmoil, the light got turned off in our oven, but the oven's still on, and like we would just be like, fuck Africa. But like really, if we just started like a world GoFundMe, like we can get Africa their solar panel fucking
So
cow fields too.
it's such a tricky subject.
And world hunger, man. That's my plug this week, man.
And world hunger. Start the
Eat
BLACKTOOth
my cock.
The BLACKTOOth Foundation. We're feeding African kids. They're going over there with a couple Mickey D's
We're
Happy
eating
Meals.
African kids.
We're feeding
Some
African.
rich Illuminati tuxedo shit.
We're feeding.
We're trying to get into the fucking YouTube Illuminati.
That's our philanthropy, is like setting up some kind of like we're feeding African kids, but then like in like parentheses underneath to lions.
Demented Squid Game shit.
All right, we should. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for listening. Go fuck yourself. And we're
Love
gonna
you guys.
fucking
Thank you.